Hi guys, welcome to my Etsy channel where my primary objective is to help you build a thriving Etsy business. If this is your first time at my YouTube channel and you want to learn how to grow a successful Etsy shop, make sure to subscribe to the channel and make sure that you hit that notification bell. That way you will be updated every single time I put new content on the channel. On today's video, I'm going to be doing a Etsy shop critique, and I'm doing a critique on the store called Kosha 6 by the owner Rampnik. So thank you for allowing me to do a review on your shop. I really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get started. Just to let you guys know, any tools that I mentioned on this video, I actually link them on this video on the text box below. So you're going to see a little box that has a description of the video. If you open it up, you'll have a lot of resources from how to get banners for cheap prices, from how to get mockups, to how to do your taxes, what softwares I use for taxes. So there's a lot of different resources there that you could use, and also my top videos that will help you increase sales as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I did an audit on this actual listing here. So this is the one that I picked. And the first thing I talk about in my critiques, if you've seen the other critiques, is product photography. And that's because that's the first thing that the customer sees. And product photography is very, very important when you have an e-commerce store. It's the only thing that the customer sees. They cannot go to a physical store, hold your item, feel the texture, wear it, or use it. So therefore, the only thing they have to go by is your photo. So your photo has to have beautiful natural light. It has to be compelling. It has to tell a story. The person should be able to see it and understand exactly what they're buying. There should be no confusion, no distraction, no additional stuff in the background that's going to take their eye away from the actual product. These are so important because you're going to tap into two buyers. One is the buyer that's looking for your product. They found the product and they love it and they want to buy it. And then you're going to get the emotional buyer, right? The other buyer that wasn't necessarily looking for your item, but they found it, they fell in love with it, and now they want to buy it as well. So you want to make sure that you cater to both people, and the first way that you cater to them is through the photo. The photo has to be amazing. Now, looking at your photo, it's not the worst photo. However, can it be better? Can it improve? Can it look nicer? Yes, it can. My recommendation would be to remove the little circle. I don't know what it's called, so I apologize, because it's taking my eye to that. When I look at this photo, I really don't know what I'm buying. If I don't know that, right, the average person is not going to know that. Keep in mind that a lot of people don't read. It's all about visual. A lot of people don't know that this little tag is here or that they could click here to learn more, right? Because maybe it's their first time shopping on Etsy. Maybe they don't know how to navigate how Etsy platform works. So you have to keep all that stuff in consideration, that a lot of people don't really know how to use Etsy the correct way. So therefore, they're browsing, but they really don't know how to browse the proper way in order to for you to get a better chance of them buying. So what I would do is I would remove that photo from being the first one. And something like this works a little bit better because at least now I know it's a necklace versus here, I don't know what I'm buying. You want to make sure that all your photos are cropped the same size. So this one is a different size from this one, and this one is a different size from this one, and this one is the same size as the first. No, it's not actually. It's cut off right here. So you want to make sure they all are cut the same way. You want to make sure that they all have the same color background consistency. You don't want, like, this one has a different background than this one, and this one has a different background than that one. So if you want to make a shop that's cohesive, it means keeping the same colors all across. But I recommend redoing the photo. These are some of the top stores that sell jewelry and necklaces and so on. And they keep it very simple, neutral colors in just the item. They showcase the item on someone wearing it, or they showcase it on a hand. Very, very, very neutral, very simple. Sometimes the most simplistic ways to showcase an item are the best ways. This is another store on Caden Minimalist, and everything is very simplistic, beautiful. So this is a way that you could showcase your item, and you don't need to add those extra things. You could just have it as simple as this picture here. See how beautiful it is? It's very clear, white background. All the photos are the same, with the same white background. They don't have, and then the main photo is the photo grabber, which should be the best photo in the front. So I highly recommend switching your photos. You did a good job with adding a lot of photos. I'll give you props for that, because a lot of people don't add more than one or two and then they call it a day. I also will add at the end like a call to action. So letting the customer know, hey, click below to learn more about the listing description, telling customers to click on the heart. Remember that you want them to favor your item. The reason why is because later on, when you add additional products to your store, or if you run a special, these people that like your items or favor your shop will be the first people notified that you are currently running a special. So that means that you are potentially sending more customers back to your shop. So you definitely want to encourage them to go ahead and click, because a lot of people don't even know that the little heart is right there. So by you having a little call to action telling them, hey, click up here, that's going to be a really, really great way to do it, to get more attention and more eyes to your shop. Um, so those are my suggestions for your photo. You could also use a light box. I don't know if you've ever seen a light box, but basically the light box is will create beautiful photos. I have one for one of my shops, and I bought mine on Amazon. It's fairly very cheap. You could get one under $50. This is how they look. And basically you put your product in there, and you could take a photo, and it gives you a really nice crispy white background. And that's what you want. You want it to have a very clear, no distraction. So if you needed to buy one of those, I will recommend them, because they're really good actually. So the next thing I want to talk about is SEO. As you might know, search engine optimization. And this is how the search engine finds your product on Google, on Yahoo, or any large search engine like Pinterest or Etsy. And search engine optimization, basically, there's different factors that they take a look at. How old your listing has been. Do a lot of people favor your shop? Do a lot of people favor this particular listing? How many social um, shares have you received from this listing? How many people are pointing back to it, right, from social media platforms like Pinterest or Instagram, etc. Also, do you have your keyword in the title? Do you have the keyword in the listing description? Do you have the other keywords distributed throughout your listing? These are things that they're gonna factor in to see if you will rank on page 1 or if you're gonna rank on page 50. Another thing that they take in factor is the competition of the keywords that you pick. So for instance, when I did your audit, you're using keywords that are too overpopulated or too oversaturated. So as you can see, 28,000, all these keywords here that have over 10,000, this one be okay, but all these keywords have to go. That means that there's a lot of people using that. So you have a lot of competition. If you were to take pendant necklace and you were to go to Etsy.com, you're going to see how many other people are using that same keyword. And I'll show you right now what I mean by that. So there's 2 million people using the word pendant necklace. So what that means is that 2 million people are using it. That's, you have 2 million people that you're competing with. So therefore, if you want to rank organically, you're not going to show up on the first page of Google. And then also, if you were to run a Facebook ad, the first page of Etsy. Also, if you were to run an Etsy ad, your cost per click is going to be a lot higher, because there's so many people using that same keyword. And you're not going to rank organically either. You're not going to rank with that ad in the first or second. You're lucky if you hit like page 5 or 6, because it also measures the factors of your store. If these stores sell more than you, they're gonna get a little bit more traffic than you would. So it's all these different metrics. There's so many of them, and they're constantly changing. But the ones that don't change as often is always picking keywords that target your audience, and also keywords that are not oversaturated. Everything else might change, but those two metrics are very, very all the time, very aligned with the same principles. You want to target people that are looking for your product, and you want to use keywords that that don't have this type of competition, because if you pick that keyword, your listing is going to be somewhere on the bottom end of this listing. It's just going to be buried all the way on the bottom, and that's where you don't want to be there. You want to be in the first page of Etsy, because for most shopper, including myself, I might go to page 1, 2, right, maybe 3. After 3, I'm just gonna buy one of these and call it a day. And that's how a lot of people think, right? So you definitely want to work on your keywords. It does take time to learn this stuff, and you're gonna do a lot of trial and failure. This is how business work. This is how something works when it's your first time doing it. You could either hire an SEO expert to kind of do it for you if you have the funds. If you don't have the funds, then it's something that you will have to just keep in mind and start learning yourself. But it's not impossible. It's just something that you just have to learn. And it's easy nowadays because we have tools like Rank or Marmalade or Google AdWords keyword planner. So there's so many tools now that you could use to elevate yourself in skills and learn things that normally back in the day there wasn't, right? It was a lot harder. So definitely work on the keywords. Um, Once you have those new keywords, make sure also, before I proceed, using long tail keywords is a great way to find new keywords. So if you're putting pendant necklace, right? And this is the pendant necklace was, I guess this is the color red jasper. You could also put here red jasper and just play with it just to see what comes up. And this will be a long tail keyword. That's what that means. So a long tail keyword, I'll give you an example of something else that's easier for me to explain, like baby headbands, right? So if you were selling baby headbands, the number of stores that have that is also oversaturated. So what you would do is you would start using long tail keywords. So you would put pink baby headband, nylon baby headband, polka dots baby headband, blue baby headband, or blue infant headband. And you kind of keep doing that. And that's when you start narrowing down and finding additional keywords that you could use for your store that you could rank organically. So right here is a really good one. Red jasper, sorry about that. Red jasper pendant necklace. You could use that one. It's only 8,000 people that you're competing with, so therefore you have a better chance of actually ranking. This is a really nice picture here. I don't know whose store this is, but the way it's showcased with just the regular white background, those do really well on Etsy with jewelry. Something like this, like simple. Sometimes the ones that are simple do a little bit more than the ones that have all this extra stuff in the back, because this is distracting, and then you don't know what you're actually buying. Like this one, you don't know what you're actually buying. So when you have just a clear, simple concept, maybe something like this with a shirt and then just a necklace hanging, it does make it look so much better. But yeah, you see how I found that keyword? That's what you have to do. And once you have all the new keywords, you will go back to your listing. The main keyword that describes your item to the best is the one that you're going to use here, and you will put it right in the front. You will also take that keyword just like how you did here, and you will put it here, and then this is it's called the meta description, and it's what Google shows people when they're looking for your listing, or they found your listing on Google.com. So this is the meta description here, and it should be enticing, so the person will want to go ahead and click on the actual item and buy from you. And then you want to make sure that you distribute the keywords around your listing, and then make sure that you have all the 13 tags down here. So yeah, I mean, that's part of the SEO. That's my recommendation. You definitely need to remove 90% of those keywords because they're too oversaturated. So right now it's going to be really hard for you to rank for them. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is listing description. And the listing description is just what it is. It basically describes your listing. You should include everything and anything the customer should know about this listing. So, the shipping policy, the return policy, cancellation policy, how it's made, what it's made from, the size, the color, um, how to contact you. So, all these things should be included. I know there are customers that don't read, and you will still get that occasional message, hey, I want to know more, and you have it listed. But it's important that as a Etsy business owner that you have your shop and you fully integrate every single aspect of it, and that you take advantage of all the tools that Etsy give you to make sure that you have a well-running shop with all the information that the customer should know. You want to make sure that you include, you see how this link doesn't work? You see how when I click on it, it takes you here? You want to make sure that you include this in the front. I'll show you. So if you want to make a link, a hyperlink, which means that when they click on it, it works, you have to make sure that you include HTTPS dot semicolons and then the 2 / lines. If you don't include that, then when the person clicks, it won't open. But if you include it, it opens, you see? So you want to make sure you go back to your listing and you add that in front of that URL. That way it could open to all the other ones that, or whatever section you were trying to send them there. I will add a backlink down here back to your home page, because a lot of times when people finish reading, they go down and then they click on the back button and they end up leaving your shop. And what you want to do is keep them longer in your shop. The longer they stay in your shop, the higher the potential of them buying from you. So you want to make sure that you keep them longer in your store. I will also separate the listing description. It's a little bit long. So what I would do is separate this into sections like mine. So I'll show you. So I have description, what's included, how to order, what you will receive, returns and refunds, etc. You want to make sure you separate it. It's easier to read. It doesn't look like a big old paragraph, and then it looks nicer as well. So it just looks better also. And then people, a lot of people don't read, but they like to like kind of like skim and find whatever they're looking for. So that's the best way to do it. So I definitely would work on that. um I will work more on adding, this is great. One thing you did good that I haven't seen a lot of people do is right here. The process of creation is a precious to us as giving you a beautiful product. We honor flaws in handmade products as partner. We design for morality while honoring life, nature, and inner growth. Our products will help you on your inner journey. So what I would do is I wouldn't write just the word you. I would spell it out. Take the time to write it really well. The nice thing about this here, you're tapping into the person's, and this is a video that I was going to talk about. You're tapping into the person's emotional state, right? State of mind. So you're letting them know you need this pendant. This is a beautiful pendant made for you, and you could wear it here, and you could. So you tapping into that persona, and you tapping into their emotions, and it's really important to do that in advertising. Everywhere you go, they have it. You watch these insurance commercials and they have the little girl with the dad, and you watch these, either they make you cry, or they make you laugh, or they make you smile. That's why when you look at videos on Facebook that have like puppies, or they have like kids, those go viral, right? Like the first kid like laughing, right? The first giggle, and they have all these cute babies. Those go viral because it touches on your emotional feelings. A video like mine's, like what I'm doing right now, that I'm just sitting here talking about a store and I'm just simply giving a critique, won't go viral because I'm just giving information. But a video about, I don't know, puppies and the first step, and it's funny and cute, that will go viral because it's touching on an emotional aspect. And that's what you're doing on here. What I would do is that I will put this a little bit higher. When you are trying to connect with someone, those stuff are all the way at the bottom. I will actually bring it up to the top. But good job with that, because I don't know if you did that on purpose or if you already know how to do that, but it's really good. So good for you. Um, Definitely will work on this gap that you have here. Like you have like kind of like a big old space. And then another space here. It just looks like it shouldn't be there. So I would just correct that. But yeah, that's my tip on the listing description. And the last thing I want to talk about is the curation of your shop. If your shop has the same colors, if you have a cohesive brand, these are important things. You do have a tagline, so that's really good. And you have your location set up. You have a beautiful photo of yourself. That's really good. I think that if you have a photo of your face is better than having like a side profile or if your face is getting cut off because people get to see who you are and where they're buying from. What I would recommend, to be honest, is change your logo. I think your logo is pretty cool actually. I just don't necessarily like the wood behind it, I guess. But this for sure, the banner, I would change it. You want to have the banner reflecting your store. This has like a lot of names and conscious clothing and fashion and stuff, which is okay. But you want to look at the most prominent stores, right? So the most prominent stores, they'll have like, some like this lady doesn't have a banner, right? But she has all her stuff is featured in the top, and look how beautiful it looks. You could also create a banner that has your actual item, like this store here. This is her I guess her photo, her logo I guess is considered, and it has like a picture. This is a really cute. I've seen a lot of prominent stores that do it that way. Or what I see is a lot of stores they take, let's say they take the top ones that they sell and they put them up here, and then they have their social media links, they have their website, they have their hours of operation. I recommend just doing something like that. I think a little bit more, because it makes you stand out from the rest of the shops. It makes you look very, very, very clean and polished and professional. It tells them when you are available, so people will know when to reach out to you, when to expect that you will reach out back to them, especially if you have the hours of operation. So I would definitely work on getting a better banner. And then I will also work on the cohesiveness of your store. All of these look like they do come from the same store, so you do have some type of cohesiveness. So that's a good thing. You're already seeing what I'm talking about. You already have it. The only thing would be is improving your photos, but keeping that cohesiveness. So the cohesiveness, you're not doing that bad. You actually your photos. If I saw this one on Etsy and I saw that one on Etsy and I saw that one, I know they're all coming from your same store, and that's a brand, right? If you see a particular, I don't know, car, that's a Hyundai and it comes from a Hyundai dealership versus if you saw a Mercedes, they look different, right? That's creating a brand, and you're doing that. The only thing I would say is just that the photo, because of this ball right here in the background, it distracts from the actual product, and it does cause a little bit of confusion because somebody looking at it at first glance or just browsing, they might not really know what it is, and they'll just keep browsing and like not even take a second look at it, even though it's beautiful. So I would definitely work on redoing your photos, redoing your SEO for sure, and then crafting a new listing description with headlines and headings and separating it and putting the backlink at the bottom. That way, it looks nicer, it stands out, and it's overall it's just perfecting your store, right? It's never gonna be perfect, but the more you do it, the more little things you find. And just keep in mind that don't get overwhelmed. This is a process, right? You just open your store this year. It's gonna take you at least a year and a half to kind of get used to it all. And it also depends on how many hours you work. If you are working on your Etsy shop like once a month, it's gonna take you longer to learn these things. But if you are constantly working on it, and this is a constant, like every day you do 4 or 5 hours fixing stuff, adding this, removing that, looking at metrics, and you keep doing that, you will become an expert pretty soon, right? And you will start learning about creativity and start learning about branding and colors and having a cohesive look. And what I recommend is going to other stores that have more sales than you do and kind of see what they're doing. Go to this store. It's called Craft Count. And if you go to Craft Count, guys, you could look up any category of stores. So you could see the top stores. You could check by category. So you could go to jewelry and you could look at the top stores that sell jewelry right here, and you could see what they're doing. And so this store here, 350,000 sales. This one got seven, and then you could click on it and you could kind of browse through these stores and see what are they doing different than I'm not doing. What are they doing that I could incorporate? I'm not saying to go copy them. I'm saying to get inspired by them, right? You go here, you look at them and you say, oh, wow, like I like how she's showcasing the earrings. Or I like how she's showcasing the necklace. That looks so much better if I do it that way. I should have thought about that. And then you go and you do it, but you do it better, right? That's the key. You want to make sure that anytime you get inspired by a different store, that your store does it better. That's the key. You want to make sure that you're not copying someone's idea, but you're getting inspired and doing a twist to your own idea. But these are all stores that have really, really pretty. You see, it's very cohesive, very simple. See, simple. They don't have additional props. They don't have the little balls. They don't have a wood thing. They just very simple. Either they have it wearing it, or they have like a nice white or just a simple background color. You see? That's all you need. Very simple. Sometimes the more complicated we make it because we're trying to like dress it up, the more the less sales you make because now you're adding too much to it and you're taking away from the actual product because you're creating a lot of distractions in the back. But these are my suggestions. I think you've done a really good job with your about me. You have photos up here, so that's really really good. Because then people get to know who you are and where they're buying from. So that's beautiful. I like the fact that you have your about me section. I feel like you did a really good job. You put a lot of thought behind it. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that. So you did an exceptional job with your, and I forgot to mention that earlier, but I want to make sure I address it. You did a really good job here. And then you have all your social media handles. So that's really good. So, I mean, you're off to a really great start, to be honest. I mean, when I first started, I didn't have half of the stuff that you actually did put. So you are off to a great start. You just got to tweak it, work on it, and it'll get better and better and better. So, guys, this is my critique for this shop. If you guys have any comments or anything that you see that I didn't talk about that maybe you want to give a critique about or help her out with something, please leave a comment below. Make sure that you guys subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. And thank you again for watching. Bye bye.